Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from Malicious Compliance. Story 1 is by Knowledge from Work. Make the Aussie go to theatre. So this happened 20 plus years ago and it still makes me laugh. I'm an Australian radiographer who was working in the UK NHS. There was this older radiographer, Susie, who told me she hated locum radiographers and particularly hated Australians. Sadly, I was guilty of both. Susie generally tried to make my life hard, but regularly failed to succeed. All the staff liked me, and I thoroughly enjoyed the work and the people I worked with. Susie also did her best to avoid any activity at all. She was disliked by nearly all in radiology, including the supervisor. One Friday afternoon at a work meeting, the supervisor radiographer informed us all that a new pain clinic service would start Monday in the operating theaters and a radiographer was required to go for 4 to 6 hours each Monday. Now, most radiographers I know are not overjoyed at doing theater work. You stand around in a lead gown for hours, pressing a button occasionally. Some love it, but I think it's okay sometimes. Susie quickly yells out, "I'm definitely not doing that. Make the Aussie go. He's getting paid enough." Everyone stopped and looked at me, and I just said, sure, no dramas. Come Monday, I attended theater at 9 a.m. and met the loveliest pain specialist and his nurse. They made the whole day great. Here's the thing. I would do a case, and then the pain specialist would say he didn't need me for the next case and I could go to the tea room and wait. I actually spent most of the day in the operating theater tea room eating biscuits, drinking tea, and reading the newspapers. I would generally come down from theater about 2 p.m. where I would be met with a supervisor radiographer who would tell me to take my lunch hour plus my morning tea break. I would return at about 3:30 p.m., just in time for my afternoon tea break, then actually do some work from 4 to 5. Meanwhile, Susie has been assigned to the general X-ray department doing hard work, slogging away all day. This went on for months until I moved on. The last week I was there, the supervisor radiographer sent another radiographer to theater for pain clinic, and it was discovered what my working life on Mondays had entailed. Susie was livid and demanded she should go to pain clinic, but the supervisor reminded her that she had refused previously. I'll get to sit on my butt and you'll have to work. That's how it is sometimes when you work underneath somebody who knows everybody hates to do this job. They might go out of their way to make it more tolerable for you. Although, having a lot of downtime at work unless you have something to entertain you, that can be draining and make the day drag by. Unless they set you up with a nice cushy couch which you can take a nap on and they'll come wake you up when they need you. Then it would be okay with me. Our next story is by Ghost Alice. Karen says, "Stop cheating to reserve the best parking space in front of the building." A Karen neighbor of mine complained that my roommate and I park in the same parking spot, which is right next to the walkway up to the apartment building. Both of us ride the motorcycle and both motorcycles belong to me, but my roommate rides on one to get to work. She accused me of using my second bike to get a de facto reserved parking spot when nobody in the complex has one, and said that what I'm doing is not fair and it's cheating. I said, okay, I'll stop parking both my bikes in one spot. She seemed satisfied with that and left. An hour later, I had all 7 of my motorcycles. 5 of them from inside the garage I rent, but it's halfway across the apartment complex, sitting in front of the apartment building, taking up every prime parking space in front of the walkway to my hall in the building. She went straight to the management to complain. The management came out and knocked on my door. "We can't have you using up every parking space." Let me guess. Karen complained? Yes. Yeah, she told me I'm not allowed to have 2 bikes in one parking space to reserve a space. I'm not doing it to reserve a space. Both my roommate and I ride both the bikes. We park in that one space. All the bikes belong to me, but I gave the keys to one of them to my roommate to ride for commuting to work. The other one is my bike for going wherever I need. We park both in one spot to be nice and conserve parking spaces so other people have somewhere to park. I was just showing Karen what would happen if I'm only allowed 1 bike per parking space. The other 5 bikes are generally in another parking space, in my garage where I keep the bikes that I don't ride frequently. The apartment manager said, "I understand. You made your point and I'll talk to her. Please put the other 5 bikes back in the garage." No problem, I said. It's been a few weeks. Haven't heard from Karen. I don't know, OP. I'm a little upset at the fact that you have 7 motorcycles to begin with. I guess maybe you're collecting them? But I don't know. It feels to me like you were just trying to show off and annoy her in the process. But, yeah. Somebody probably thought a biker's club pulled up and parked in those spaces until there was a complaint registered, and then they realized it was all you. Down in the comments by H1King33K. This reminds me of a story I once heard. I can't find a link, so it may be apocryphal. The story goes, San Francisco was trying to increase revenue from parking meters downtown. So they passed an ordinance saying only 1 motorcycle could be in each space on the street, instead of doubling, tripling, or quadrupling up as was normal. So the riders coordinated to all bring their bikes downtown on the same busy weekday, and each took up 1 space, filling up every space in the downtown area for miles around. As you can imagine, it was chaos because none of the car drivers could find street parking and had to opt for much more expensive garages and or driving around for hours looking for a space. Needless to say, the ordinance was repealed. I just love it when they try to increase revenue. Like, people's money is already being drained. Let's drain it more. We need to have more money from these parking spaces. And I remember reading something within the past couple of years that's kind of amusing and also sad at the same time. But these parking spaces earn more money than a lot of employed people do every year, especially in some high traffic area. Our next story is by Defiant Lion 8183. Deleted? You sure? Okay. So I am a fiend for Excel spreadsheets. Absolutely love them, and even bought an extra wide monitor for home so I can see them in all their glory. My boss keeps telling me that she's an advanced Excel user. She can run macros. She can do pivot tables. She knows formulas. Not once have I seen her create or manipulate a spreadsheet in the 6 months I've worked for her. So I had a template on our Teams chat that we used every week. It was automated to within an inch of its life to tell us about the company's health. We've been using it for the last 4 months after I was given approval by the boss to make it live. Gave her a tutorial and everything. This was for the admins to all see, and I'd only need to update the raw data once a week instead of send it manually to whoever wanted it on a given day, up to 4 times a day, usually. Took out about 6 hours of work a week having it set up like that. Well, the boss told me to take it down because a different department who hadn't seen it was worried about personal data when one of the admins told them about it. There isn't anything like that in there, and anything that is an open access is password hidden anyway. Our IT team has to be formally requested to add a new member to our team's chat. The spreadsheet is password protected. The tabs are password protected, and the whole company is locked down hard anyway. So boss orders me to take it down and delete it. Run a fresh one for anyone who wants it. So I explained that there wasn't anything in there that was personal or private data, but got told, nope, delete it. Tried to explain we use it amongst the admins every day and it has all these built-in features and tables, etc. Nope, delete it. So I did. The fallout? Read on. Cue today. Boss says to me her big boss meeting is presenting figures to the executives tomorrow. She starts quoting figures that are wildly out from the true numbers. I question where they came from, and she shows me a Frankenstein report that is saying the exact opposite of what she thought, run by someone not even in our department. I tell her the accurate grand total and show her how I got there with a simple table and some screenshots I had of the original shared spreadsheet. She asks for access, and I tell her it's been deleted. I explain why and even show the meeting notes where she had approved its use after viewing it. She denies any knowledge of it but wants it back. I said it would take me 2 to 3 days to make it again due to my workload increases. I saved a copy of the template, but no way I'm telling her that. This will give me breathing room to get the backlog out of my queue while she thinks I'm working on it. Let her sweat through the executive meeting knowing every figure is wrong. No one's saving her butt in this team anymore. Ah yes, and the top comment underneath by Captain Bao Bao. Arrogance and incompetence often travel in the same sinking boat. And underneath that is another one that I have to share, by Enderflow. To paraphrase a recent Reddit comment, egotism is an anesthetic for stupidity. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have a pleasurable day.